How about a Coppola quick facts?
Quick facts. To paint the whole story, I have to go through the entire thing here because I went through Adam Rifkin's AMA. That's where most of this information came from. And he did an interview, I forget, with The Guardian or somebody like that. 20-year-old Adam Rifkin, who directed this, was good friends with Cary Elwes, brother of Cary, whose stepdad just happens to be Elliot Kastner, who is a legendary producer who worked on a bunch of Jack Nicholson movies, Marlon Brando and Paul Newman films, tons of stuff. So you with me so far? Now we already are starting to get a clearer picture of how this got made.
So that was the Elwes stepdad. Is that producer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Cassian and Cary's stepdad. Rifkin managed to score a meeting with Kastner and pitched a movie called The Dark Backwards, which is a dark comedy about a three-armed stand-up comedian, which he eventually made. This is a real movie that actually came out.
Okay.
That was the pitch. It was dark comedy, three-armed comedian. But Kastner wasn't into that genius pitch. Kastner said he'd let Rifkin direct a movie, even after hearing that pitch. But it has to be for a teen audience, a la The Breakfast Club, which was very popular at the moment. Rifkin, being the enterprising 20-year-old that he was, not wanting to blow his shot of getting a chance to direct a movie, scrambled and wrote this script in like 3 days. Because they had a meeting on like Monday, and he was like, "Do you have any like teen comedy type things?" And he was like, "Of course I do." And he was like, "Okay, bring it to me Thursday and we'll talk about it again." So Thursday arrives and he hands him Never on Tuesday. Okay. So that's how that happened. As for the cameos, Cary Elwes, co-producer Brad Wyman, and Adam Rifkin all grew up in Los Angeles with all of these stars. And the three of them went about trying to convince their star friends one at a time to make small appearances that they could easily do whatever they wanted to do with. So each one of them was told, "Come in, just do whatever the fuck you want, and we'll just film it, and it'll be great."
Also checks.
Doesn't have to make sense for the movie. Doesn't have to work. Just come in, do whatever you want to do, and then leave. So they'd each come in for a day, do a kooky character, and leave. I want to quickly just track where everybody was in their careers up to that point, just for context. So Judd Nelson had done The Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire with Emilio Estevez. So he's already a star. Emilio Estevez was also a big star, thanks to Breakfast Club, of course, but had also done starring roles in Maximum Overdrive, Stakeout, and was about to do Young Guns. So he was huge already. His brother Charlie Sheen was fresh off Best Picture winner Platoon and left the set of Wall Street to come do this movie. He was filming Wall Street and came to do this. Cary Elwes had just finished filming The Princess Bride. Gilbert Gottfried was one of the hottest stand-ups in Hollywood, and had just filmed his role in Beverly Hills Cop 2. And Nicolas Cage was fresh off of Peggy Sue Got Married, Raising Arizona, and Moonstruck. So, holy shit, dude. Like, how... I mean, they must have been really good friends to this guy. Like...
to Gage?
To
like all of them?
To Adam Rifkin and Brad Wyman and Cary Elwes, like them convincing this like level of Hollywood stardom to come into their movie. Yeah. I still have to wonder, like, how the hell did they know Gilbert Gottfried? The other guys are about the same age and like seem like they might have gone to high school together, but like Gilbert Gottfried.
Maybe they ran into him at a party or something. It's like, you know.
We're making a movie, Gilbert. Oh, I'll do anything.
I definitely felt like he just showed up and was just being himself.
Yeah, he just was doing his shtick.
Yep.
Yeah. They all were. Filming for Never on Tuesday took place in Borrego Springs, California, which is in the middle of nowhere, I think. It looks like it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
The cameo actors were flown out to Borrego Springs on their individual filming days and then flown back that same day. So flew in, did a shtick, flew out. It's fucking crazy. I can't even think of another movie that has something like this, aside from like those holiday movies that they did where they like did Valentine's Day and then they were like, we got Brad Pitt for 30 seconds and we got Danny Glover shows up too, and like those movies where just random cameos happen for no good reason. So it's crazy, dude. The star power in this piece of shit.
At the peak of all these guys starting too. I mean, that's nuts.
It's crazy, dude. The film's crew members included producer Cary Elwes, of course, and makeup artist Cheryl Burkhoff, who is now married to Rob Lowe, who grew up with Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez, who are good friends with Nicolas Cage. Starting to all make sense now.
Too bad Rob Lowe wasn't in this. Would have been awesome.
Kind of shocked that Rob Lowe wasn't. He was probably... What was Rob Lowe doing at the time? I don't know.
The Stand. I don't know.
That was like late 90s.
I can't remember when that was shot.
I only remember him in 90s movies. I don't remember him doing stuff in the 80s.
He was in a lot of stuff in the 80s.
Yeah.
He was kind of a pseudo member of the Brat Pack back in the day. Cage was told that he could do whatever he wanted with his cameo. So the rubber nose, the jacket, the hair, the voice, all of that. That was all Nicolas Cage. During a Reddit AMA, Cage said, "I didn't get paid."
Wow, he didn't even get scale.
He didn't get nothing. But the agreement was with the director and whoever was financing the picture. He literally said, and whoever the fuck was financing this piece of shit, that if I do it, they would let me do whatever I wanted. So it was a complete avant-garde experiment. And of course, I played a character who had a prosthetic nose, which was very long and pointed. Cage said that he was trying to convey a troubled live-action version of Pinocchio.
Oh, God.
It kind of works when you think of it in that context.
It really
Is
does.
anybody hurt? Kind of moves like Pinocchio.
Yeah.
He's got the nose.
I thought this was like the prequel to Eddie King.
Yeah, I was like, this sounds like
surgery.
This sounds like the prototype for Arsenal, where he just sort of like came in for a day, did whatever the fuck he wanted, even though he got paid for that. Put a fake nose on and did all that shit.
God damn.
Don't give Nick Cage free reign to do whatever he wants. Is the lesson.
Reel him
That's
in.
the lesson, yeah. It's like that Seth Rogen story where he's talking about how he wanted to play like a Rastafarian with like bleach blonde hair.
Wasn't that for
And
Spring Breakers?
braces and shit. And then Spring Breakers came out. And he's like, "Did you steal my character?
Oh,
What the fuck, man?" It's unclear what connection him playing fucking live action Pinocchio has to do with the rest of the film, but he called it his favorite lesser known performance. It's so Nick Cage, dude.
And here we are.
When we meet him,
anybody hurt?
when we meet him, I'm gonna tell him, yeah, thanks for that, buddy. Your performance was hilarious, but then we had to sit through the rest of that garbage film.
Although I think in that same AMA, he says, "Don't watch that movie. Just watch his scene."
Yes,
he does. He did warn everybody.
Yeah, but we're not that smart. We could have just done a clip of it.
Rifkin says the same thing. I'll get to it in a second. But with a limited budget, the cast and crew shot on film. which is surprising. They ended up using short ends, which are sections of the film that's left over in the canister. So like you can buy a bunch of short ends and load them up, and you can film for like 2 minutes, and then you're out. A normal production, they just throw that shit away because they're like, what are we going to do with 2 minutes? We can't possibly film something in 2 minutes.
You can film a Nick Cage
very
cameo.
Cheap to buy. It was very cheap to buy back then. I don't know if it's cheap to buy still, but I feel like film has kind of come back a little bit, but it's also harder to get now. So
yeah, I think if you're going to do it cheaply, you just do digital.
Yeah, just do digital nowadays. Shoot the whole movie on an iPhone nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could if you wanted to.
Claudia Christian says, we were constantly trying to shove a 4-minute scene into a 2-minute film stock throughout the whole thing. This film was released on VHS video by Paramount Home Entertainment in 1989 and was originally slated to be re-released in the United States on DVD through City Light Entertainment, but then that company went out of business.
What?
So it was like a
that's why I think
direct-to-video.
it was like it was law. Like nobody really has the rights anymore because I think this City Light Entertainment bought it. And then they went out of business. So I think it's just kind of floating.
Yeah.
It's just nebulous
And
at this
somebody
point.
ripped a VHS copy that they had and put it online.
Yeah.
Sequel.
When asked if he was excited at the renewed interest in his film or if he expects a Blu-ray release to come out, Adam Rifkin said, no.
Yeah.
But I'm thrilled that the Nick Cage clip is available. And then he went on to say, it's my first film. I was 20 years old. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. If I could go back in and re-edit the whole thing, then maybe I'd be okay with everybody getting a chance to see it. He was pretty critical of the movie himself.
Yeah, I think it'd actually be pretty interesting if he did go back and re-edit it. I'd be interested to see
why
how
would you do it?
Yeah, like why would that'd be torture.
Yeah, but I think it'd be interesting to see how he would shape that film now.
I mean, based on his work afterwards, I still don't feel like it would be all that great.
No, I don't think it would be. I'm not saying it would be great. I'm just interested to see how he would shape it and how he would change or what he would change around. Probably just mainly just all the scenes of her naked, I would imagine. He just does a compilation of that.
It's just that. Then the third act is just a bunch of fuzzy TV and screaming over the top of it.
And some dollar store 9 Inch Nails music in the background.
Muhammad Banir.
Banir, damn it. What's her name? Claudia Christian. Mm-hmm. She's done a bunch of video game voice acting.
Yeah, she's a huge voice actress.
Yeah.
So I think the 4 people that watch this may have encountered her in video games more than anything else. I know I had.
Yeah.
Or Babylon 5. I haven't watched Babylon 5 though.
She surprisingly, I think, is the best actor in the whole movie.
Yes.
Out of everyone in the whole movie.
I thought that's why I looked her up, because I was like, she probably had a career after this because she seems like she was a good actress. But I mean, kind of, I guess she did a lot of TV work, and then voice acting.
She's still working today. So.
She's done a lot of voice acting for Bethesda games and other stuff. So
yeah.
And thank God Peter Berg started directing because Jesus Christ, he cannot act.
He's produced, he's acted. He's shown up in a lot of things as bit parts.
Fucking Nigel, dude.
But yeah, he's been all over the place since this. Everybody went on to have a career. It's shocking.
That's Hollywood for you, baby.
Yeah. Once you get in, you're kind of in.
Unless you get Me Too.
Unless you diddle some kids.
Well, then you're still
allegedly
for quite a while.
You're still in, actually. Yeah, you're kind of fine.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Seems like Bryan Singer is still doing fine.
Fucking Singer. Spacey's about to have a comeback.
Yeah,
Weinstein
Spacey's
too.
about to come back.
Why?
Weinstein's getting released. Yeah, him and Bill Cosby should do a buddy film together.
Yeah.
Cosby and Spacey should do the Odd Couples reboot.
Why don't you clean up the roofies after you use them?